I'm David S. Dawson from the Intellectual Podcast, a show that spotlights creatives from all walks of life, part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other incredibly geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Capes on the Couch podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Dr. Issues is a psychiatrist, but he is not your psychiatrist and does not have knowledge of your individual situation. For any personal mental health concerns, please consult your own healthcare providers. For medical emergencies, please call 911 or the designated number in your area immediately. Remember that you are not alone and help is out there.
Hello and welcome to Capes on the Couch, where comics get counseling. I'm Anthony Sitko.
And I'm Dr. Issues.
We are joined once again for another Creators on the Couch episode by our good friend, who at this point basically has like the recurring guest slot whenever he wants it. Friend of the show and friend of us, Alan Dunford. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys always having me on, even though I bet if you watch your viewer rating, as soon as you say Alan Dunford, the chart just plummets down straight to hell and then doesn't come back.
Well, if they go down into hell, they can find Horus, because that's that's what we're here for. We are here for Horus in Hell 2, which the Kickstarter is still live until when does the Kickstarter end?
It ends the 8th at 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay, at 10 a.m. So this episode, 10 p.m. Okay,
yeah, I'm wild like that.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
you're night owl.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
You wacky man, you. Yeah,
I
10
know.
o'clock. That's 10 p.m. for me is usually right about when the edible is like fully kicked in. And then it's like, now I got about another hour, maybe, before I'm just completely useless. That's what I need, man, to shut my brain down. Listen, the hamster does not stop on its own. All right. He needs a trank dart in the ass. And the only thing that works is Blue Dream. 25 milligrams. It is.
This podcast is brought to you by Blue Dream. Don't let your dreams be memes.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you waiting for? Yeah. If we can get actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf to guest star on this show, that would be quite a feat. So yeah, Alan texted me a couple weeks ago, like maybe that was last week.
Dude,
he was like, "Hey, are you guys still recording? You on hiatus?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, we are. We are. I said, I think we had just recorded the night before. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And he goes, yeah, we got Horus in Hell. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that was going on, because my job has been beating my ass, beating me like it owes me money, which it does.
That's how job works, right?
That's the point. Compensation.
Yeah. So Horus in Hell 2 is obviously, the continuation, a bit of a spin-off of the Pocus Hocus storyline, as well as, and we'll get into Grandma Chainsaw, and folks can go back. I think this is your 8th appearance on the show at this point.
Yeah, I'm not counting anymore. I just enjoy your company at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just lonely.
Yeah. When you're not on the show, I get those shirts and I sniff them and I go, oh, they still smell like him.
Yeah. It smells like regret.
It smells like West Virginia. It smells like burning couches and meth.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot the coal, man.
Yeah, dude, coal country, baby.
Yeah, but the burning couches is so much funnier. My cousin went to West Virginia, and that's she's like, yeah, the Mountaineers won, and then we set couches on fire.
Yeah, Mountaineers win. Everyone just runs. Yeah, it's a tradition. So I don't know if the tradition still stands. I think it's like really slacked off for obvious reasons. But for some reason, if WVU would win, so West Virginia University, if they would win, everyone just had it in their brain that they just would burn a couch. And the thing that blows my mind the most is the fact that, like, it's college. Like, everyone stereotypically is a poor college student. And then these people are going to go burn couches. Like, that's like a commodity. You know what I mean? Like if college had like a commissary, I bet couches would be through the roof with how much they would cost. That and rent. So yeah, that's a little bit of a story with it. So yeah.
Wow, yeah. I've definitely learned something tonight.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went
I'm
to
surprised.
WVU for a semester. For those who don't know, I am too sober for my own good, and I just didn't have fun being away at college. And the craziest thing about it was like the next day after a game, because I didn't drink or anything like that. Walking out, especially if West Virginia lost, like you could feel the tension in the air, and like the streets were abandoned. So it was just me going to the coffee shop. It was great.
Wow.
Yep, the end. But yeah, we got a comic on Kickstarter. Oh
It's about a
man,
hell raising bunny.
Hellraiser
And
money.
yeah, so tell us, a little bit about Horus and Hell too, since your partner Will Radford is not joining us this evening, unfortunately, lazy bastard. No, I'm saying I'm saying that with the tongue fully in cheek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Will
Um,
knows we love him. We miss
So
him.
so yeah, Horus in Hell #2. Obviously, it's a spinoff series, like you guys said, of Pocus Hocus, which was our first comic book series that involves a magician who sells his soul to a demon to have actual magical powers, and it's just his journey to get it back. And like always, I promise it's way funnier than what I'm making it out to be. And Horus was one of those characters that was a frustration. And what I mean by that is he's that character that you like, it's like our Groot, right? Like you just kind of spend the least amount of time on, and it's just a fun one-off sidekick character, but everyone just was gravitated toward that character. And we thought like, hey, well, let's go ahead and just make a quick ash can of Horus and just kind of tell his origin. So we wrote the 8-page of it. We had Kit Wallace give us his amazing artwork on it, and then the ash can took off. So then we got to the point where we were like, well, I guess now we have to write a whole series. And how we made the series was we had two possible endings. One ending that we could end with issue 2 if issue 1's campaign didn't do well, because you guys know how it is. Like people are like, oh, we want a single Horus issue. We want it, and you could do something like that, and then people are like, I don't want it, or it has like a lukewarm response, right? So, but luckily for us, it kind of took off. So we had the other ending that we were then able to use, where we could make Horus in Hell a 4-issue miniseries, which we were very happy to be able to do. But Horus in Hell follows the story of a demonic pink bunny named Horus, who is one day in the fields of battle in hell, and he is pulled up by a drunk magician named Pocus Hocus into our material world. And we like to really play on the lore of, a demon's word is their bond, even though they're trickery involved with demons, and nothing's ever as it seems. But whenever they say, I pledge my services to you, we like to really try to stick by that. And Horus thought Pocus's giant hand that was pulling him up in the middle of this battle was finally his eternal reward for his years of servitude in Hell's army. But really, he was just a magic trick and a drunk magician's thing who happened to have magical powers. And the story of Horus in Hell 1 follows that, where he gets pulled back into hell. And to talk about the ending here, so spoiler alert, he gets pulled back into hell and he meets his brother Boris. And Boris is a Russian hare, which is the best joke I'll ever make. So I can go ahead and just wrap that up now. Boris is a Russian hare and says that he'll get him back to his magician friend if he does something for him. And that's where it ends, and issue 2 picks up immediately there as we find out what Boris actually has in plan for his brother.
I love the Russian hair joke.
Yes.
Did not realize that, but that is, I love the over the top nature, because what I appreciate about this series is it gives you that freedom to really lean into the absurdity of some of the stuff that is only, I don't want to say it's not lightly touched on, but it's there in Hocus,
Right.
but it's not the crux of the whole series. You do, a fantastic job, I think, of balancing the humor with the stakes and the horror and all of the other things. For Pocus, Horus is just, let's just go full on bonkers with it and see what we can do and just let it run. And is it cathartic to have that kind of an outlet?
Yeah. So because not saying that we don't have fun or Brian doesn't have fun with Pocus, uh, and it's not entirely tonally different, but what we get to do with Horus is just kind of turn our brains off and just make this wacky, wild thing. Because with Pocus, and then we'll get into this here in a little bit with Grandma Chainsaw, we're telling a story that is involving several characters at once. This is just following Horus.
Mhm.
And just the situations that he gets into. So we get to take a lot more liberties and get to just, because we have to be really careful. Like, again, we'll talk about this later, but with Grandma Chainsaw, it's not like we were just throwing people to the wind. We were carefully planning on, okay, this person will die here because of this. This character will die here because of this. With Horus, we have one character, and we introduce other characters, but it's like, we don't care about them. Like, we're just here to have fun. Like, we don't care what happens to it. We just kind of write it and just see what feels right.
Yeah, that fun definitely comes across. I mean, it comes across in obviously everything that you work on. That fun. I mean, that's why we've had you back on as many times as we have.
Yeah, I mean, there's look, we're all about the entertainment anyway, and my selfishness, as you've probably heard me say, I don't know if Anthony has a joke used 3 times, I have this used like 300. I always love the idea that characters just go on. Like, I can accept the idea that a story is never fully told. That is
Right.
not a pet peeve of mine. And in all honesty, I don't care about spoilers, whatever. It's all good to me. But the first time you introduced Horus, I'm like, oh, okay, we can go anywhere we want with this. I love open world, not just in gaming. I just love open. I don't know what the literary equivalent is, but that's what I envision when I'm reading stuff like Horus. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Kit Wallace's art from where he has that, not to pull from our campaign, but from where he has that demented cartoon-esque, like Saturday morning classic cartoon stuff, like we really just get to I like the juxtaposition of this cute character that's Horus, and then just all this crazy stuff that's happening around him. I don't know. It's just it's so much fun. All of it's just fun.
Yeah, and like I said, it plays well. And again, when you're dealing with a pink bunny who's a leader of an army against a bunch of angels, I mean, there's really only 2 ways you can go there. You can try and make it into this very serious story and really try to say something, go, like Cerberus with it,
Mhm.
or Cerebus, with it. Or you can say, screw it. We're having fun. We're just going to go bonkers and throw logic and reason out the window. Just go with whatever looks funny. And that's what you've done.
Yeah,
In my
Logic,
opinion,
never
that's
heard
it.
of her.
That's it. You've only got those 2 options. There's
Yeah.
no middle ground, because if you middle ground it, it's going to fall flat.
Yep.
So you might as well embrace it, have fun, go nuts. And, hats off to you for doing that and just saying, screw it. We're just going to go nuts. We'll save some of the serious
Mhm.
character development, this, that, and the other for Pocus.
Mhm.
Horus is just like the fun, cathartic thing.
Yep. That's exactly it. We even when we are being relatively serious, like in Pocus, we always try to never take ourselves too seriously, because I think one of our approach from everybody in the team is the world around us is so serious right now, and there's just so much going on. No matter what you believe, whether you're left, right, in the middle, it doesn't matter. Like, all of us on either side have something to complain about right now, and it's just I just want to create something that is just an escape for people. So if we're not having fun writing it, I don't think that you'll be having fun reading it. And at least if we can offer some reprieve to what's happening around you, then I think that we've done our job. And Horace and I like to think the other stories are they fall in line with that ideology.
Yeah. I like, from this perspective, that it's a self-contained story that you were saying earlier, how you just kind of created the ash can and you're like, well, let's just see what happens. Just kind of throw it out there and see what works. And oh, okay, we hit something here. But I like that it's still remains self-contained largely, that it's a four-part series, because I think those limitations help, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the limitations kind of help give you, I don't want to say freedom, but it's limitations breed creativity.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Because what was cool about it was when we're trying to construct Horus in this crazy, crazy ass world, is we also wanted it to be independent of Pocus, because we wanted to write the story to where you don't have to read Pocus to be able to enjoy Horus. And we have a lot of people who have backed Horus and don't back Pocus. Like they probably could care less about the story of Pocus Hocus. They want Horus, and I get that. Like I hear you, I see you, I feel you, I value you. I get it. But we still keep in mind, whenever we're constructing this, the confines of the world that we've already built with Pocus, because in our minds the story of Horus takes place somewhere between Pocus Hocus number 1 and 2. So we really try to make sure we go in knowing that in our timeline, because I'd like to think that the story for Pocus is following a pretty straightforward linear path to where we want to get to. And yeah, we want Horus to be this crazy side one-off series, but we're respecting what we've done with the groundwork beforehand. And it's actually enabled us to be able to tell the story this way. And then maybe we can even revisit it in Pocus Hocus at some form, and we can allude back to some of the stuff that Horus went through in this.
Nice. I like that, and I'm glad to hear that it's not just we're doing this off on the side and it's unrelated to.
Yeah, no, I've always took this
stuff.
as this is part of the canon for the Pocus story. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's much appreciated then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I love the world that we're all creating. And I'm just so happy that you guys are all on the journey with us for this, whether it be for this or for Grandma Chainsaw or just any of the other crap that we have coming up. Like, yeah, it's great.
And you do have, quite a bit of stuff that you're working on. So let's kind of touch on some of that then. I know you had mentioned a little bit earlier, I don't remember if it was pre-roll or not, that you're working on Grandma Chainsaw, the next, what's that, 4?
It's the last.
The last.
And it makes me so sad.
Aww.
Yeah, it's actually in production right now. Yep. I'm gonna miss old Hazel.
So how's that coming along?
Man, it's great, but this is our first series that we have that's coming to an end. And it's kind of crazy because we've it's been just about 3 years now that Brian started drawing Pocus 1. So it's just kind of crazy to think about, like, we already have all these issues and we're actually wrapping up our first miniseries. So for those of you who don't know, the title for Grandma Chainsaw is pretty self-explanatory. It's a serial killer grandma with a chainsaw, and Doc thought he was going to hate the book, and I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah. It wasn't a matter of hating. It was more like, okay, I'll get through this once and not really think much about it.
Mhm.
And then all the other characters arrive, and it's like, I'm in.
Yeah. And that was something too, like with all these ideas, Doc, we've talked about this ad nauseum too, but with all these ideas that we have for these stories, it's something that we recognize that we're not telling the most original story. The Faustian tale of Pocus, done a millions. The slasher trope, I mean, you can find it everywhere. Like if you go to Tubi, oh my God. It's just like as ridiculous of the ideas as you can get. And I think they call it hag horror is what it is. Whenever you have an elderly person that's kind of like your villain. Yeah. We're doing that with Grandma Chainsaw. But I like to try to think it's the stuff that we do around it that makes it fun and unique. With Grandma Chainsaw, we went in early, and I don't know if we undersell it whenever we try to pitch it, because I don't want to really give too much away. Just obviously on here, I spoilers. We probably are going to get into some stuff on it, but I wanted people to be excited and surprised whenever they opened up and read the first issue, because if we just had a grandma running around with a chainsaw just killing people, I'd be afraid that it would just get boring after a while. And then, we have to know when to end the series, because I don't want a Jason Takes Manhattan situation on our hands where, the story's just getting like, this is, these guys should have stopped at issue 3, right? Something like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to be smart about how we throw little surprises at you with every issue that we make over here.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to, Grandma Chainsaw number 4. Been thoroughly enjoying the series, as I know Doc has as well, and his daughter. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's read it. I gave him all the stuff where this isn't like, 6 months later and he still hasn't gotten his stuff. So he's got it. I gave it to him. We're done.
Yeah. At the end of issue 3, we give a pretty big, heavy hand on where this thing's going.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think we all decided early, like we knew how the book was going to end. And even introducing the Dead Squad, I think it was one of those things where either you're with us or you're not. Like, we introduced the Dead Squad early, and it's like, if you guys like it, great. If not, I'm so sorry, but they're not going anywhere. And that's how we felt about the ending too. Like, if you guys, the people who like it, we hope love it. And if the people who look at this thing like, this was ridiculous, it's like, well, you did pick up a book called Grandma Chainsaw. I don't know what else you expected, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely all there in the title. It's like snakes on a plane. Like,
yeah,
it does what it's that title.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah. So I mean, if you pick up a book called Grandma Chainsaw and go, well, this is not what I expected. I mean, it's what it says on the tin.
Yeah,
right there, right there. That's on you. So all right. So you've got Grandma Chainsaw, the finale. Someone's going to put Hazel in the old folks' home.
Yeah, that's the ending. Hazel just goes to a retirement community.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's actually a happy
play some
ending.
canasta.
Yeah, she finally started taking her meds. It's good.
She's really good at shuffleboard at this point.
There you go.
Yeah,
mahjong.
And so one thing though that we're super excited about is once we're done with Grandma. Now I sound like what's wrong with this crap? He's here. No, like once we're done with Grandma, we're going back to the world of Pocus. So we have Pocus 6 that's going to be coming out. And you couldn't be more thrilled to get back into it because we love the story of Pocus, but it's one of those things where, we were bouncing between Grandma Pocus, but then once we got to after Grandma 2, we kind of made the decision. We're like, all right, let's just end it. Like we only have 2 more issues. Let's just do it. And on the Grandma campaign for number 4, we are going to have the trade paperback. And I'm hoping that will pull a lot of people into the series because I know Kickstarter, it operates within its own ecosystem and campaigns are all unpredictable. You can't judge one campaign's success off the last campaign. And I'm just really hoping that people come in for this because I think that there's something there, honestly, for just about everybody. If you like dark comedy, horror, I mean, just crazy characters. Even if you might like Horus, you might like this. Like it's just, I don't know. I'm really proud of the work that everyone's done on this series.
As well, you should be. I mean, obviously, all credit goes to the art team, and you've really been, I think, fortunate as writers to have such fantastic artwork across all the titles, whether it's Kit, whether it's Brian, whoever you've got on your series, from pencils to inks to colors. It all works and it all very much feels cohesive. And that's not something that every writer can say. I mean, at least from my perspective, there's plenty of books that I've got in my collection and plenty of books that I've read where I love the writing, the artwork is kind of meh. Or, the artwork is gorgeous, but the story is like kind of just, passe or just seems rote or tired. You are very lucky, and I hope you acknowledge and realize how lucky you are.
Oh, dude, every day.
I'm sure you do, but just to have that consistent quality across all the titles that you've released so far. Now, I know you said you got more stuff in the hopper, and we can talk about that in a little bit. And I know that at least in some of those books you're you're continuing to collaborate with the folks that you've already worked with. So I envision that, that the work will and the quality will continue. But so I guess we'll segue then of the stuff, and I don't know how much you can or can't announce of the stuff that you've got in the hopper. Is there anything you've got with new artists or somebody that you haven't worked with before?
Yeah. So I don't want to say the word clubhouse, but I do like to try to keep a tight knit circle of artists that I love working with, just because it's obviously it's a respect issue, and it helps me stay focused, because whenever we go to write a story, we always take into account the skill set of the artist. And I think that that's important, because I don't want the artist to be out of their comfort zone. I mean, a little bit, yeah, because like I want, like Brian, we're always trying to push Brian, and Brian's always trying to push us, whether he knows it or not, and that's great, I think. But there's a cover artist that we've used for Grandma Chainsaw on 2 issues now. His name's Ruben Mosho, and he's such an incredible artist, and his style, I call him a chameleon, because he blends so well. Like, you could pick up a book by him and not know it's him. It's just like one of those, like, how does your brain function like that, that you could blend? So on the Horus campaign, we have a book on there. You can read the first 8 pages for free, but chapter 1's done. It's called The Herald, and it's a Western. So it's my first time writing a Western, which is crazy. But Ruben approached me with this story about a stranger that comes into a town, and he has to retrieve an item. And the mystery around it is really cool. And obviously we know where the whole thing's going, but he wanted to tell this supernatural story that felt larger than the environment that it was taking place in. And this thing goes into all kinds of crazy locations and just all these different scenarios. But so, with Ruben, it was a no-brainer to want to work with him on a project like this. With Brian and Kit, obviously, I want to keep those guys busy. Like, I just love working with them so much. And it just, once you get comfortable with people like this, it's great, because everyone's just feeding off of each other. Like, I send a page to Brian, I send a page to Kit. They don't send a preview page back or an outline page anymore. It's just, here's the finished page after a couple days, right? And it's just, I don't know, and they just get it. They know what we're looking for, but at the same time, we write the scripts and tailor them in a way where we give them as much freedom as possible too, because I feel like if they can't express themselves and they're too worried about what we're saying, then we're not a team anymore. It's just me trying to tell a story, and they just happen to be drawing it. Right. I want them to tell the story as much as we're telling.
Wow. Incredible value of trust there. That's
yeah, 100%, man. And the same thing goes with Ruben. Like, and how Ruben likes to do this stuff, because Ruben's also the artist and the creator and co-writer on the Herald. He did it the Marvel way, and I had to really rewire my brain. He drew the book first, and then we wrote it.
Huh.
So that was hard. That was very hard to do it that way, but it was fun. You know what I mean? Because, like, I got to see what was coming out of his head first, and then we just made it fit, because he knew what he wanted for the story. Okay, it's like, okay, well, now how do we get this dialogue across with what you've already drawn? So yeah, it was just kind of a cool thing to do. And again, his approach was great, because if you go to our campaign and just click the link that has the Herald cover on it in the add-on section, style, what he did for it, he wanted it to look like it was from that time period, and he made all the collars very flat. So, dude, hats off. I've seen this guy. He can collar, he can do everything, but he just wanted it to look like it was from that time period. He wanted bold collars. If you see a light on something, it's not like, the lighting is coming from it. It was just a square that goes across it. It's just, I don't know. It was just cool. I just think it's excited for everyone to see the full launch whenever we go to do this later.
Nice.
So do you have a rough time frame then on when that book will be hitting Kickstarter?
Yeah,
so we know when to clear our schedule to have you back on?
Yeah, it's actually going to be our next campaign. So as soon as Horus is done and fulfilled, we're doing the Herald. Now, on this campaign, we are offering an exclusive cover. which is this one. It will be foil embossed for the logo on the book, and it's going to be numbered. So it's just kind of a way, like I said, the book's already done, and it's kind of great going and knowing that. So,
Nice.
yeah, I think I'll be able to ship that book early. So for those of you who do back it, you'll probably get that separate from your Horus campaign, just so that I feel comfortable launching, the independent one by itself, instead of being like, well, I pre-ordered on the Horus campaign, but Horus hasn't shipped yet, because we still have a little bit of way to go for Horus, because Kit, he's working on it, obviously, but he took a vacation to go to Japan for 3 weeks. Can't fault him for that. So yeah, enjoy your vacation, man. You've definitely earned it.
No, you get back here and you chain your ass to the desk
and you draw Horus.
You draw Horus. I'm gonna glue the pencil in your hand. God damn it!
Whether you like it or I don't want you to enjoy your time.
No. All the best to Kit. Enjoy the vacation. He's definitely earned it. So you guys always have really cool stuff with your Kickstarters. Not just the opportunity to go ahead and catch up on anything that you've missed. Mm-hmm. We've spoken about this numerous times. At some point, every Kickstarter is going to be somebody's first introduction to your work. Yeah. So aside from the whole, back catalog, et cetera, what are some of the fun add-ons and incentives you got for this campaign?
Oh, dude, the coolest thing on this one is the collector's box. I love that thing so much. And the t-shirt, I'm a sucker for t-shirts. So we took Horus from the cover of issue 1, where he's charging with the battle axe, and we just put that on the t-shirt just so you can show your battle ready Horus off to your friends.
Love the image, and it's definitely going to get worn. And I wear the shirts out in public sometimes. I've worn the Dead Society shirt out. I've worn
people are like, what the hell?
Other Hocus stuff out, and I haven't yet been approached, but I'm always hoping that someone will see it. And
we haven't done our job then.
That's an awesome shirt.
Even the Eat Slay Love shirt, no one said anything.
Yeah. I don't remember. I definitely don't remember where I've worn them. I've worn them all out in public. I just don't recall. Yeah, no one's ever approached me.
I'm fed up with the shirts.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's all right. You still have your dignity and respect, even if it just is the two of us. And that's it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not going to blame the shirts. I'm not sexy enough to.
No, you are. You're too sexy for the shirt.
I'm too sexy for the shirt. Too sexy for the shirt. Too sexy. It hurts. Yeah. No, I backed it, of course, and looking forward to getting the shirt and all the other stuff associated with it. Obviously, I skip past all of the back catalogs. I'm like, oh, I've already got that. I've got an entire,
you've got several issues of everything.
I've got several issues of everything, which I appreciate. You always hooking us up with the good stuff. I see that Alan will have a new Kickstarter, and then I start scratching my arm because my blood itches, and I'm just like, oh. You got any more damn comics?
No, obviously, you guys never have to back it, but we always appreciate it. And it's a hobby, but it's also a passion project for everything that we do, because we want to put our all into it. That's why we always try to be really selective about the projects that we're doing, because I don't know if I have the capacity or the brain space just to be a script mill. And I admire anyone that can. But for me, with work and life and all this stuff, it's just one of those things where we try to be very careful about what we're doing.
Yeah. And I can tell you from experience, and knowing what you've got, other non-comic projects that you've got coming up very, very soon. Your life is about to change, sir. Drastically. Drastically.
I know.
In the next month. In the next month to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, vey.
It's an amazing challenge. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, man. and I was even stupid enough. I started going back to school, so I'm working on my PhD right now. Yeah. So
okay. Wait. All right. That's burying the lead, dude.
Yeah, seriously. How the hell we go this far into the process and this far in the interview, and you keep that nugget until we're 40 minutes in?
Well, it's because I never want to be that guy. You know, I mean, I'm getting my PhD. It's like, yeah, no one cares, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm working online right now for my PhD.
Look,
It's
game
in
recognized game, okay? Anybody that goes doctorate level anything, be it Juris doctor, be it medical doctor, be it ed doctor, that's my wife, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
hardcore, man.
What are you going for?
I'll have a PhD in health education and promotion with an emphasis in population health.
Woo!
Yep.
Thank you.
So-
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll be that guy that will be able to. That I go in at I guess at a state level, county level, or I guess just a nation level. I could do it that way too.
Yeah.
And you look at health disparities that are happening through certain regions, like
Stay in West Virginia. For the love of God, please.
well, so
for the love of my God, stay.
my thesis right now that I'm starting to develop is just health disparities from rural territories versus their metropolitan neighbors or city neighbors, just because it's crazy mortality rates that affect rural populations that don't affect metropolitan areas.
Yep.
Yeah. So if people haven't fallen asleep yet, we're going back now to talk about comic books.
Yeah, forget all the things
excited,
that
man.
forget all the things that actually are going to impact the well-being of society at large.
Yeah.
We need to talk about all the stuff related to horror and
Yeah, never mind people dying out, in areas because they're, 45 minutes removed from any major healthcare providers. Let's talk about a homicidal pink bunny rabbit.
Yeah, or because mobile health clinics don't really exist in a lot of rural territories, so people getting blood work or even a simple mammogram isn't.
Yep,
so,
healthy food and pharmacy deserts. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Curiouser and
capitalism.
curiouser. Yeah. Gotta love it.
Gotta love capitalism. Yep.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
the greatest, freest country in the world, right, folks? Huh?
Oh.
God, I could talk about this stuff all day.
Oh yeah, let's not.
And as you can tell, so could we.
Yeah.
So could we, but we won't, because that's not what the purpose of this podcast. And although I wonder sometimes, we're always like, oh, we'd lose listeners. Would we though? I don't know. If we just if
we should do a Patreon episode. Kind of where we get in. We could do a Patreon episode where we get into that stuff. So
hey,
yeah, and get feedback that way, and then they'll be the test audience.
All right, sure. Just as if I don't have enough stuff on my plate. I've literally got my Trello open with like all the other things that I want to work on for the podcast and different. I mean, we just announced with last week's Julia Carpenter episode, we're like, oh, with our 6th anniversary coming up, we're going to be introducing a new pillar, a new sub-series within the Capes on the Couch umbrella that we're working on. So, but sure, let's
okay, perfect, got you. I signed you up.
let's throw politics and healthcare and all this other stuff into the mix. Sure, why not?
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's good. Whatever.
Everything's fine.
It's fine. So we'll have all the links to we'll have the link to the Kickstarter in the show notes. Where else can folks find you online aside from regularly appearing on our program?
So you can find me on X, Twitter, wherever you stand on it, at Chaps of Fury, our newsletter, studios.substack.com. And then now you can find us all over anything Bad Bug related. So just go to badbugmedia.com or just shoot an email to any one of the guys, and we'll be more than happy to facilitate whatever you guys need.
That is fantastic. And so, best of luck to you. Like I said, we'll get this up before the Kickstarter officially closes. As of this recording, it's got 11 days to go. So you've already passed your goal several times over, but obviously you've got the stretch goals and other things. And it's always just, it's a continuous thing to see how much more successful each one can build off the last. And it's always fun to bring you back here and talk about these things and just compare and contrast in a fun, non-competitive way, and just see, okay, how much bigger can you make this one? How much can you grow the next one?
And that's the thing. We're always trying to push ourselves. Even we talked about, like, from a creative standpoint, but also for a business standpoint too. And it's just like I said, the feedback from everybody has just been mind blowing, and we really hope to continue that. So from the bottom of my heart, Will's heart, everyone else on the team, just thank you guys for being a part of our crazy ass ideas.
Anytime, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime. I mean, there's a reason why we brought you back as many times as we have. And it's not just, for your stunning good looks and your sexy tattoos.
I do have a lot of those. I got too many of them, I think.
No such thing. No such thing. No. I'm already, my wife and I both said this year we're getting new ink. It's on our to-do list for the year. So she's got, one or two ideas planned. I've got some ideas planned. And, I always say my fundraising goals for my Extra Life, I'm going to get the Extra Life logo tattooed on my body somewhere. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. And, it's always a pleasure to chat with you and looking forward to more insanity, hilarity, grotesque horror, comedy, all of the wonderful mixture that you and your cohorts bring our way. It is, as I said, it's always fun to chat with you and to read whatever it is that you got working on.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you all.
Yeah. So you can catch all of our episodes on our website, capesonthecouch.com. You can do a search for Alan and Will, as they've got kind of their own little subcategory under the creators on the couch, just from the sheer number of times that we've had them on. So we are also on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at Capes on the Couch. We are proud members of the Gonna Geek Network. You can go to GonnaGeekNetwork.com and check out some of the other sister shows on the network. I know that I'll be recording some stuff with Chris from Play Comics very soon. I know Doc will as well.
Yep.
And that's it. Just join the Discord, check the links in the show notes and join the Discord, join the fan community. If you really like what you hear and you want to support the show, go over to patreon.com/Capes on the Couch and click the link there and subscribe. You can unlock early access, additional content, uncensored material, all kinds of good stuff there. And as I said, we'll have the links up in the show notes to the Horus in Hell 2 Kickstarter, which will be ending Friday, March 8th at 10 p.m. So if you haven't already, go and support Alan and Will and their fantastic works. And, especially send the money because Alan's going to need it. He's got a baby on the way and he's got the PhD. So
yeah.
he's going to be hemorrhaging money very, very soon.
My God, if only I could launder it.
I mean, you can throw your wallet in the wash, but I don't think that really does it for you.
Yeah, you're right. God, I did that once and it didn't work out.
Yeah. Just ends up stripping the magnetic thing off your credit card and you just have to get a new one anyway.
And I was just a soggy bottom boy after that.
I am too a man of constant sorrow in this day and age. For Alan Dunford, Doc Issues, I'm Anthony Sitko. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you next time.
Capes on the Couch podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Dr. Issues is a psychiatrist, but he is not your psychiatrist and does not have knowledge of your individual situation. For any personal mental health concerns, please consult your own healthcare providers. For medical emergencies, please call 911 or the designated number in your area immediately. Remember that you are not alone and help is out there.